Hello and welcome back to Best in UC TV. I'm your host, Heather Clancy. Thanks for joining us today. One of the companies that I'm going to talk to in a moment makes 2010 look like a blink in terms of the recession. They have had enormous growth this year, and part of the strategy behind that growth has been using unified communications to really branch out into vertical markets. So my guest today is Richard Tarity. He is the CEO of LiquidSpoke, a systems integration and technology company in the Philadelphia area. Rich, thank you for joining us today on Best in UC TV.
Thank you, Heather. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'd like to start by asking you about your vertical market approach. We just spoke a little bit about what you're hoping for in 2011, and I'd like to understand why you got the idea to do this and how it has helped your growth organically this year.
Sure. So we started 5 years ago, and over the past few years, with the type of significant growth we've had, what we started to do in 2010 was look at how to verticalize our customer segment in the marketplace. So one of the verticals that we're heavily after in 2011 that will continue to be a high growth area for us is the education market.
Okay.
The education market, as it relates to our business, there's a tremendous opportunity to save money, consolidate the level of technology effort from an IT administration standpoint within these districts or universities. They're also typically looking at, they're using today a lot of disparate systems. So they're at a point where they're trying to bring a single platform into their environment, which will allow them to basically have a single image, single opportunity, and a single platform to use across campuses and across schools.
Okay, so let's break this down a little bit for the audience, right? We've got two very distinct education markets, K through 12 and higher ed. Let's start with K through 12 and really drill in on what you can offer here in terms of benefits. You were talking a little bit about PerkVal, a school district that you've been working with for some time. Can you tell me about that account?
Yeah, so Perkiomen Valley School District's an account we had. We won that account 5 years ago. It was one of our first accounts when we first started business. They have 8 physical sites.
Okay.
They have a district office. They have a main high school. They have a middle school, and then they have elementary schools, all feed up through the high school. They were building a new high school in 2005. That was the impending event. They were using, at the time, a hosted Cisco solution that was very expensive to manage, very expensive to maintain. It was very troublesome to really, the features didn't work to a large degree. And one of the things we were able to do is go in and help them identify a design that would really simplify the overall environment, tie all the districts together, tie all of the schools, give them centralized operator out of the main location, centralized voicemail, and a centralized management platform. And that's what we were able to deliver for them in a total of 2 years.
Okay. What are some of the applications that they're using? Give me a couple of examples of how this works. It's not just the phone.
It's not just the phones. They are also using a enhanced 911 application.
Right.
So in the entire district, if any of their users were to go to a phone on the phone system and dial 911, they would get an emergency notification. That emergency notification goes out to their security desk, as well as their guards, the superintendent, the principal, and the head nurse, as well as the IT representatives that are in the district. And it gives them information like where the caller is, the name of the location of where the call went through, and it also gives them the extension as well.
Okay. Now you mentioned that the previous solution was very difficult to maintain. How easy is this one to maintain?
This one's very simple. They had 3 people total that were managing the previous Cisco hosted solution. They have since deployed 2 of those 3 to do more desktop support and server support, And so they now have one person that is dedicating half of their time to managing the overall phone system. The ad moves changes, the password resets, the day-to-day handling of a new extension, deleting an extension, setting up features and doing training within their user base at the district. So tremendous amount of cost savings in total bodies. And now the district was able to redeploy those other resources without having to hire additional bodies.
Okay. K through 12, that's that situation. Higher ed, kind of a different value proposition. Tell me what the value proposition is for unified communications within a higher education environment.
So more on the collegiate level, whether college or university, what we see with our clients is that it's more of a campus environment. So they're not as many sites that are disparate within a certain geography. It's all one location. It's a campus-wide environment. They have buildings that are all tied together, typically through fiber, which is the footprint throughout their entire campus. And throughout that environment, they're looking for a single image. They're looking for one platform that they can use to both manage as well as deliver telecommunications out to the dorms, out to the classrooms, out to the gymnasiums, all of the facilities that are on campus.
Okay, but this isn't just, again, an administrative technology. It can allow for new applications and services, right? So tell me about what
Absolutely.
Some of the new things that they've been able to do as a result of deploying the technology.
Sure. Well, one of the colleges we worked with is actually leveraging the video conferencing, the point-to-point video conferencing for doing such things like tutors. What they found is that a lot of the tutors and professors that are on campus can now go to a fixed location within the school or within one of the buildings, and they can get online with other people that might be in another building or another part of the campus, and they can do one-on-one tutoring while they're actually doing a video conference call with each other through the SureTel system, which is a great application for extending that, that learning environment and also giving that live feel to your end user.
It's conceivable that a K through 12 could do that as well, right? Not just look at this as a way of keeping their budgets down or finding funds to put elsewhere, but they could actually provide new services that maybe they could get money for. I mean, have you seen that as well?
We have. The K through 12 are looking at ways to do point to multi-point, which is something that we're getting a lot of interest in. And in other words, the teachers at the main location giving the class or presenting the material, the content. And then the students are in multiple locations or multiple areas receiving that content material. So there seems to be an interest in driver to want to do more of those types of things.
So if you had two middle schools that wanted to offer Chinese or Russian or something like that, which is kind of a little bit of a fringe class, you could find the students in both schools and kind of pull them up and actually offer that.
Absolutely.
Random. Well, I think we can both very much agree that technology could be an absolute revolutionary way of changing the education system in this country. So I very much wish you luck in 2011 and beyond. And I very much appreciate you sharing your thoughts with us today, Rich. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And thank you for joining us on the latest episode of Best in UC TV. Until we meet again, I'm Heather Clancy.